Welcome, folks. Welcome to Winning on Wednesday. My name is Juan Vitas, and the purpose we're here is to simply get to know each other. Like I always say, people do business who they know, like, and trust. And today, I have the pleasure to introducing one of our fellow WOW members, Art Randolph. Hey, Art, how are you?
Hey, how you doing, Juan?
Good, good. So, Art, tell us a little bit quickly about yourself.
Uh, the quick and the short is I'm part of WOW as ACN independent business owner, and the focus is essential services everybody uses every day. I help them get the discounts from being able to go online at the convenience of whenever it's good for them at night or during the day. It's been a great adventure so far.
Excellent. So, tell us, where did it all get started? Take us way back. Where were you born? Were you raised?
Oh my! So I started out in a little town called Piscataway, right in the center of New Jersey, Central Jersey, and it was a nice town because it was sort of rural in some areas, and it's a college town. Rutgers is there, so and I grew up in the '60s and the '70s as a kid. So the outside part was my big thing. Outdoors all the time, any way, shape, or form. My father was big into the outdoors. I'm the oldest of three brothers, and that was my world.
So, wow. Any other hobbies that you had? I mean, you mentioned the outdoors and other stuff. Did you have any other?
Hunting, hunting, fishing, hiking, exploring, camping, and it was really cool because that was an era when you truly lived by the street light. You went outside first thing in the morning, as long as you were home before the street lights came on. I had a 20-mile radius as a 10-year-old. If my bicycle tires could get me there, so I got to explore quite an area and a sense of independence.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was a very different time.
And what did you have it at that time? Did you have any inspirations of what you wanted to be? Because we all, as a child, we did have different ideas. We don't have ideas what we wanted to be, but I wanted to be a doctor, a veterinarian. So at that time, what were your thoughts?
You know, I've given that some thought, and my earliest recollections of being involved in the community was when my father joined a rescue squad that was local, and I was maybe 3 or 4 years old because that was a big thing then. If you wanted to have a great life in the community, you volunteered with the fire departments, the rescue squads, Knights of Columbus, whatever was there. So I remember that as a little kid, and then he got on the police department, and I saw that as like, hey, I could be outside and I can do something with the community. I got involved with the rescue squad again, and after a year, I applied for the police department because, well, that's what I wanted to be, something consistent like my dad. And then
Wow.
I got hired.
And I mean, wow. And your role models, did you have any role models or people who inspired you as well?
I'm a big reader. I love history. I picked up on Teddy Roosevelt and Abe Lincoln are two of my favorites. The early presidents had a great influence in me because they just were tough, but they didn't give up. They were tough
Yeah.
people. I believe good from what history reflects. But I love Roosevelt was into the outdoors, and he was a self-made guy. Like he didn't let problems hold him back. He was sickly, became strong. He wanted a big life, and he went for it.
Bully. Bully. That's what he used to
Yes,
say.
bully.
Bully, bully, bully. But in a positive way, not in a
Yes,
not in a negative way, but in a positive way. Because now
yes.
that word is, used negatively, but back in the days, it was
It was
used
appro-
positively.
yep, it was appropriate. And
It's
Lincoln
appropriate. Yeah.
was the same thing. He was faced with challenges,
Yep.
and he kept getting up. Failure
Up.
was just another
Yes.
lesson in the day.
Yeah, it's amazing. I read about him and learned about him. Amazing. And they don't make men like that now. Like really, tough and strong and even
It'll come back.
they'll come.
It'll come back. The hard times will naturally form us into what we.
Yeah. It's and but it's tough. I mean, it does take time. So tell us about your you went to school. What did you go to school for? What was your major in
I
school?
My major in school was to get out. I I've been called old before I really had the age to back that up. So high school was something I had to get through, and then I hit the ground running. I joined a rescue squad. I worked at odd jobs,
Wow.
got got around a lot of good people. Uh, the rescue squad was a cadre of role models, and they were all guys that had come out of war experience, Vietnam, Korea, World War II, and it was a good fit. They made sense to me, and I had massive respect.
Oh, wow.
I got the chance to apply for the police department career in Piscataway, so I'd be working with my dad, and I gutted it out, got through the academy. So I've never taken a traditional route of education to a job, to a higher position. I went right into the field of life.
Wow. And listen, I respect every veterans and law enforcement and first responders. And I just want to say to everybody out there, thank you for your service because, it's you guys provide a service that we we do people take their freedoms for granted, and we really want to make sure that support these people and do the right thing because, look, at the end of the day, this country was founded by laws and rules, and we all have to respect that and one another. Saying
Yep,
nobody's above the law. No,
absolutely.
everybody's equal. But
Appreciate
so so tell us about so I like to say the golden nugget moment. Is this if there's anything that you want to leave behind, any piece of information that can help somebody be a better business person or better their career, or anything that in life that you've learned that you want to leave behind? Is there any
it.
examples of that?
As quirky as it sounds, I would say trust your nose. It doesn't have an emotion, but it really can help you. If it can help you sort out something good to eat versus not, it can generally sort out a problem or a path you don't want to take. Early in my career, I had officers that it was unusual to stand up to them. You just did what you were told. But my nose told me, I don't think this is a good idea where this officer wants to go. And I pushed back on those things, which you weren't supposed to do, but it prevented a problem. And then I find when I delivered newspapers, which was a great lesson in business because I had to tailor my paper route to what my customers wanted. And other kids would tell me, "Oh, what do you do that for? Just throw the papers any old place." I said, "But they want to read that paper when they get home. They don't want it all full of rips and tears or be sopping wet." So I tailor that, and then I got great tips as a 12-year-old getting silver dollars, and that's big money in 1972. So I would say, trust your instincts. Don't second guess yourself so much, and go down that beat down path. You got to call somebody. Just trust that you're doing it for the right reason. Pick up the phone. I remind myself all the time of that. You got a bad feeling about something. Listen to that feeling. It's like your brain working overtime to guide you in the right direction. And be humble. There's always something out there that's going to trip you up at the worst time. So just sort of take a breath, but don't quit. I saw in law enforcement so many of the people I dealt with, they quit on themselves, they quit on lifelong. And then they didn't trust their nose, and then they did dumb things like stealing, and now they've got a mark against their reputation. So a totally good person has a hurdle that they're never going to get over because there's always that doubt in other people's minds. Life's got enough challenges. Don't quit. Trust your nose, and do what you think is right by the people that you're responsible to or responsible for. You sleep at night. I sleep great. I'm grateful for that.
Oh yes, me too. Wow, that's very powerful advice. Thank you so much, Art. And and you're absolutely right. And it's all about it's communication and
Yeah.
following up and I think a lot of it is with communication. And the only way to do that is getting yourself out there and being exposed to people and learning. You learn from your mistakes and your experiences and all that stuff. And the whole thing, you don't want to repeat the same thing twice, right?
Not if you can help it.
Exactly. Not that you can help it exactly. And the other thing, we were talking about laws and rules, everything has to be followed and probably protocols that I've learned. And sometimes as a youngster, you want things to happen quickly. And because, you don't have the patience, when you're younger and you want something quick and fast. But in life, as you have to work hard for everything. If you want it really, truly, you have to work hard for it. But
Earned has a much better flavor than just getting it, and you got it, but did you really work it? when you worked
Exactly.
it, you got that satisfaction.
Um, Now I'd like to talk to you about the networking groups. Do you belong to any networking groups or communities or spheres of influence that you would like to share or with us?
Absolutely. I tell you what, it's been a fascinating ride as I've learned to navigate networking groups. I'd actually put them down for a while, and good friend encouraged me to check out Wow. I'd lost a lot of momentum on the networking, even though I knew it was valuable. And I said, all right, he believes in it. I believe in him. And all of a sudden I'm here and I'm just like, wow is the appropriate word. So I would say,
Thank
ways
you.
looking at this, you
Thank you.
got to check this group out and put it to good use, but give it give it your all. I would also say, if you really want to feel good at your core, go find a group that helps people who are having a tough day. I'm on the local rescue squad now for the last 8 years, so I've never left my law enforcement public service environment in some form. It's been 8 years. I'm an active EMT. It's humbling and uh, and it's a gift at the same time. You get somebody on a stretcher, they feel awful, and you can give them a little peace of mind, take a little of the fear away because you look at them and you walk in, you're like, I've got this. We're good. We're gonna get you there. We're gonna get you fixed up, and you see them start to calm down. So I would say volunteering's taken for whatever reason. Like I'm too busy for it. Don't ever be too busy for how you feel on the inside. That intrinsic return is far greater than anything you can get externally. And it's a one-way street. So if you really want to give, where that person on the stretcher can't give back. So I would say those groups that do something for others. I'm looking at other groups, so I'm open to that because I got to give you props, one. You've really showed me what the standard should be for a networking group. I really appreciate how
Thank you.
this has worked to give me a reference.
No, no, thank you, and it's been a pure pleasure. You know, everybody speaks very highly of you and Wow, and you know, and I just want to say thank you. Take the time to thank you. You've given me great advice offline. You know, you've been we became friends, and so much so that I
Yeah,
trust you. And I always say people do business with they know, like, and trust. And the fact that I trusted you not to, you know, and some advice. You know, I called. So people out there, you could call Art for advice. He gives great advice, by the way, and I really called him up and he helped me on something and I was like wow, like I never saw it that way, and just wanted to say thank you that, and you know, to acknowledge that as
oh,
well
you're welcome,
publicly,
bro.
that you've helped us out, and I know that and I'm gonna put people on the spot. Robin, I'm sorry, Robin, if you're hearing out there. Robin speaks very highly of you. Everybody in the group speaks very highly of you. Rich Buyer, everybody. So we all
I
love you,
think,
Art. Just wanted to let you know that, and I'm publicly. This is going to be recorded and put it out there. So I'm publicly putting it out there. So please do a one-to-one with Art Randolph because you definitely you got to do, you know. But now let's back going back to business. Let's talk about business now. So tell us what you do and what you
sure.
offer.
All right. So I'm I'm part of ACN, and it's American Communication Network. It's focused on essential services. It's stuff that everybody uses every day, and if you've got to have it, then it's fair that you should try and at least get the best service for what you're going to pay, even if you can get it for less and no compromise on the service. So that's what I found with this company. Uh, Something that's important to share with people. What drove me to want to see this kind of business model, the networking. Ironically, here we are. When I was a cop, and I'd see people do things out of desperation, and it always came back to economics. They didn't have enough time to make that extra money. Then they'd get desperate. It's an awful feeling to arrest somebody for shoplifting because they want to feed their kids, but it's still wrong. And I saw the power of this kind of an industry where it can fit into that crazy life that people have with without an extra time to do it. So it's e-commerce. People can go on a website. They can see the services at the convenience of day or night, and when they're home and they can relax, have that coffee or that water, and uh, and when they access the services, what I like is that the company we partner with really good companies who then provide that service. So we keep it simple.
Okay.
Service provider is their point of contact for the service, so they don't have to always rely on me. I don't have to try and be an expert on everything. They get high quality service because that individual treatment. And the second part is it's got a team building component because sometimes people want to make the money doing what I do. So we share how that's possible. Same e-commerce page, same simplicity, same convenience, and they size it up. If it's something that's good, then we work together. And I like that team spirit. The police department, I had 8 great cranky officers. I could never do in one day or in 2 weeks what they did in one day because I had 8 officers. That was 80 man hours. I was able to leverage them and protect my town, serve my community, be there really quick on the heavy duty serious stuff. And that's what I love about it.
Yeah.
It's a sense of freedom and independence working with a great company that takes care of a lot of the behind the scenes things that hold business owners back.
And Art, if people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to contact you?
Really, the best way is my cell phone number. I'll throw that out there, 908-319-8339. And I know that that's going to be posted. The website is also going to be part of this, right?
Yes,
And
correct.
my email is part of that as well. So email is great. The cell phone is the best. I use texting just as like the new version of voicemail, and then I get right back to people because it's always a great conversation. And I help them see where they want to fit. Or sometimes I just give them a good idea and they go in a different direction. I'm cool with that.
Excellent.
It always
All
works.
right. Thank you, Art. Thank you for sharing your story.
Excellent.
And if you'd like to be a guest of Winning on Wednesday, please simply go to our website, www.com, Winning on Wednesday, and sign up as a first time guest. And we'll see you next week. Bye bye.